Hey everybody! So, got to talk about a freaking situation right here. Um, Quite a bit of discussion going on lately about Haynes King, right? And I want to start by saying, obviously Haynes King is the center of our team. He's the heart of our team. He's an incredible quarterback, and a lot of the excitement that Georgia Tech got in the offseason, a lot of people were looking at Haynes King. Obviously, they saw the Georgia game last year and how well he played there, and I so a lot of people, a lot of expectations and everything are riding on Haynes King, and if you don't, I mean, if you don't know, the in-depth situation of Georgia Tech, that's one thing. But me and my buddy Rec Talk, like for example, we were kind of a little bit more, reserved about jumping all in and being all excited for this year because, well, Haynes King hasn't had a single year in his playing career where he's had a full healthy season. It's always been an injury one way or the other. And obviously he's a great quarterback. He's incredible. He, can put the game on his back. He won us the Colorado game and many other games. He's freaking awesome, right? But last year, he had this throwing shoulder injury. And obviously for a quarterback, that takes away half of your game. It's a terrible freaking injury to have, right? And a lot of the time he missed some games yet last year, and we had to switch him in and out. And when he was in, the defense kind of knew that we weren't going to be throwing the ball too much because he can't really stretch the field like he used to, and you know it's not like he can't throw it whatsoever, can't be accurate. It's just that the game plan around when we put Haynes King in becomes much, like I said, just much more medium and short term passes. We really don't try to take the top off anymore, which is a shame because, back at, like, for the Louisville game, for example, when we played Louisville, the first opening game of the year, it was like Brent Key's first full year as head coach. He was dropping freaking dimes, dropping them in a bucket, dude. He was throwing some incredible passes, and we don't really see that anymore. It's because of that shoulder injury, and as a result, like I said, the game plan around him has changed a lot, which actually has driven up his completion percentage. He's been hovering around 70 since last year because all we do is safe passes that aren't going to be put in danger. And usually when it does get put, try to creep into the medium to long range, he starts throwing picks, and he's been known to spiral and throw picks. So it definitely limits the game, and as a result, people have started to call Georgia Tech one-dimensional. I think that's a little harsh of a word because, like I said, we still can throw. Haynes King can still throw medium. I would say 10, 15 yards, but that's about his limit. We're rarely going over that, which is a freaking shame because we used to and it was awesome, but we're not able to do that anymore. And a lot of the stuff, we got to rely on yards after catch and scheming guys open and stuff like that, to make it a lot safer. And as a result, his completion percentage has gone way up. So I'm bringing this up because there is a post that HQ Georgia Tech made on Twitter that's caused a bit of buzz. I'll go ahead and pull it up now. He writes this post about Haynes King, and I'm going to just go ahead and read it. So he says, there's now belief Haynes King's shoulder/arm injury is now chronic and is affecting his passing. NFL draft scouts are rumored to have King lowered on their list currently to his play style. His play style does in fact gain yards and works, but it's a lot of wear and tear on his body, and there's a belief that he's going to not make the full season healthy. NFL scouts are not liking it because it wouldn't work in the NFL. The belief is that Coach Brent Key and his staff redshirted Aaron Philo because they knew King's injury would affect him this year. From what I was told, Aaron Philo was a better passer than King in practice this year and will be a future star attack. So, a lot to talk about here with this statement. First of all, I know this guy. He used to be fifth quarter Georgia. Now he's HQ Georgia Tech. I know this guy a little. We talked a little bit. We're cool. As far as like me knowing, what sources he has, I have no idea. I just wanted to talk about this post at all. So I don't really have a problem with this guy or anything like that. I thought this was an interesting topic and I wanted to discuss it. And there is some things I have to say about this post. So first of all, I don't think that it's some kind of, revelation that Haynes King is still struggling with his passing. I think that, it's obvious that that is the case if you just watch the game. And I didn't actually, I think I might have mentioned it once or twice since the game, but, I had hoped in an off season of, time to heal and time to get right and stuff, he would have improved that. But it appears, based on that game, not the case because, like I said, lots of safe. We're playing the same way Haynes King. We're running the same type of deal as if last year when he was hurt. Short completions, safety, and then working around. Obviously, he scrambles a lot, and so I don't think it's like some kind of huge revelation. I think that it's apparent, and it is disappointing because clearly, as far as it becoming chronic, I feel like that's the case too, and it really is a huge blow because obviously he's an incredible player and was a really amazing passer, and like I said, as far as the NFL scouts, looking at things like he's not going to make the whole season. Well, I've expected him to not make the whole season the entire time. I said that in my preview, and that's why I have to take. It's hard to predict the games because he will miss games this year. It's almost certain. He hasn't made a single full year healthy. So, however, that being said, I am high on Aaron Philo. I think that that's a great point to make too. Aaron Philo comes in. Can't bring up Aaron Philo without mentioning that he broke Trevor Lawrence's passing record in high school in the state of Georgia. He is a great passer. He came in last year. He came in, obviously we started out with Pyron as backup. He didn't play good at all, and so it took a little bit for us last year. It was a little bit of a learning curve last year to learn to even put Philo in, give him a chance, and dang it, he freaking made an awesome. He made an awesome time of. He made the most of that opportunity that he got. He won us the NC State game, and he was half of the Miami win too. And what's crazy is I thought that we would be counting on him for the Georgia game too. He didn't play a lick. And freaking Haynes King carried that game on his back, and he was throwing the ball around there too. So maybe the Haynes King throwing is a emergency basis, But I 100% believe in Philo as the backup, which is why I still predicted us to win 9 games this year. I still think that we have a great backup. We have one of the best quarterback rooms in the country. It is what it is, and it's just that that facet of Haynes King's game is taken away. But he has a extremely capable backup, and yes, he will be a future star attack. I believe that. So that. As far as the red shirting Philo specifically because they knew King's injury would affect him this year. I don't really. I'm not sure if that's. I don't know about that. I feel like you would just try to do your best to redshirt a true freshman quarterback that's supposed to be the star of your program anyway. I feel like you try to do that anyway. I mean, we've done it in the past with quarterbacks or with players. Any freshman, you're going to want to redshirt them. So I wouldn't say that was be specifically because they knew we were going to need his help this year. I think that was a given. But I wouldn't think that had anything to do with his red shirt. Now, as far as King's NFL prospect, being an NFL prospect, I've kind of thought due to his passing that he wouldn't be a high draft round pick anyway, and it's a shame because obviously he's so good, but yeah, I mean the NFL. They're going to freaking scrutinize you and they're going to inspect your body 100% before they, spend millions to draft you and pay you. So, I can totally buy that, he wouldn't be a high draft pick just because of his injury. And nothing else, really. I mean, other than that, he's a freaking incredible quarterback. It sucks. It really, really sucks that he's going through this because unleash potential Haynes King with the real shoulder would be incredible. And look, I would say that I would donate my right shoulder. I actually mess up my right shoulder playing football too. It's still to this day I can't reach back further than that without it popping out of place. So I would donate my shoulder. But unfortunately I don't have a good one to donate. So sorry about that, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Haynes King shoulder thing because it really does put a damper on what we can do. I will say though, it really worked against Miami last year when we did the 2 quarterback thing. We brought in Philo to pass and brought in King to run. And it's crazy because you knew exactly what each one was going to do once they were put in and what they weren't going to do. But I don't know, it worked. It's like we did it usually doing the 2 quarterback thing it winds up in disaster. But for whatever reason, it worked for us, and we took down number 4 Miami last year. As far as if it can take down, I mean Miami last year was a pretender though. So as far as if it can take care of, an actual good team, well, maybe we'll find out against Clemson because dang, they have a rough defense. They're gonna be, they're gonna be one of, if not the best defense we play all year. So that will sure be a test for these 2 quarterbacks if they do both wind up playing. But I wanted to talk about this just because I kind of had the feeling already that, I noticed at the Colorado game that it wasn't, unfortunately, Haynes King throwing wasn't back to standard. So apparently over the offseason, it didn't wind up healing any better. And this guy says it, whatever his source is, I think it was plain to see just based on what happened on the field. So, as far as if Haynes King's an NFL prospect, though, I don't care. He's my quarterback. He's a damn good jacket, and I will remember him forever, whether he freaking goes to the NFL or not. And I'm sure he will make a roster. It's just that he might not be a super high draft pick. But for all of the people that were looking into Georgia Tech to kind of be excited for us, just have in mind that Haynes King probably will go down. But we are in capable hands with Aaron Philo too. So love these 2 quarterbacks. I love our team this year. We have obviously we have some problems at Colorado with the turnovers. We can clean that up. We can fix that. That was a freak fluke thing. We got Gardner Webb this weekend. Nice tune-up game before Clemson, and then that's a huge test. So we'll see. But I believe in this team. I believe we can do great things. and I'm excited for the future. So, anyway, go Jackets, and I'll see y'all next time.